All right, what's up? Uh, okay. I've never played this game. It's brand new. Ethan, come here. Check us out.
What?
It's called the Stanley Parable. Hang on. Where's it at? Where's that? Where's that?
It's like a story thing.
Yeah,
That's sort of like Hello Neighbor.
kind of. It's like it's a narration-based game, right? So hang on.
So not like Hello Neighbor.
Not really, but also kind of, yeah. Let's see. It should show up. Yeah, yeah. I'm lagging. Hang on, hang on. Let me put this down here, and then it stretch it out. No, I don't want it that big, but it's got to fit too. Why is it not going right? Hang on, hang on.
You can just line up a corner.
Yeah, but I don't want it like that because that's weird.
No, you can line up a corner and extend everything else.
Like this.
Yeah, line up. You don't have to extend it from the corners.
Well, then where do you want it? It is the same thing. Here, let's just set it like that. I'll change it in a minute. Let's open this.
I'm guessing you're gonna have to play on a different screen.
Oh, I need to have it over here. Hang on. Okay. Luke, can you check if you can hear it? Alright, alright. Let's try this. What's the controls? Real fast, just because I've never played it. So, okay, here we go. Luke, join it. I join all yours.
Hmm? Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This game, sure. This game looks really cool.
Yay!
Alright, alright, alright.
This is the story of a man
Oh,
named
oh,
Stanley.
there's words.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple.
I think so.
He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard.
He sat on
Orders
his
came
desk
to
at
him
room
through a
427
monitor
and
on
pushed
his
buttons on a
desk, telling
keyboard.
him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although
Oh my gosh, that
others
sounds
might have
boring.
considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Dude, I love these narration-based
And
games.
then one
These
day,
are always so much
something
fun.
very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget.
Oh my gosh.
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he
Only an
realized
hour.
that not one single order had arrived on the monitor
What?
for him to follow.
Come on,
No
Stanley.
one had
That's
showed
not
up
cool,
to
man.
give him instructions, call a meeting,
I need
or
instructions,
even say
though.
hi. Never in all his years at the company
Never?
had this happened.
Oh my
this
goodness.
complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up
Oh,
from his desk
yo, I can
and
move.
stepped out of his office.
Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Let me mess with this real fast. I'm gonna try and up the game sound instead of my mic. Okay. Here, let's do that. And now close this, open the game. Alright, we should be good now. Let's see if the game will show up. Okay, sweet, 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 sweet. Can I do anything? I'll just go out. It kind of looks like a horror game. What's that one game Where you just
All of
walk
his
down
co-workers
oh,
were gone.
yeah.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, no, but I can jump on the desk. Take this. Oh, what did I do? Did I just turn it off? There's no, like, interaction button yet.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference.
You making fun of
Nor
me?
did it advance the story in any way.
Oh my goodness. I just wanna find a way out. Can any of these open? No? No. I think E's interaction because each time you press E, it like blocks the doors. Hey, what's up? Okay. 417. No. Any of these open? Okay, let's try this one. Oh my goodness. None of these open, man.
When Stanley
Okay.
came to a set of 2 open doors,
No.
he entered the door on his left.
Enter the door on his left. But do I? Nah. Oh my goodness, left or right? Which one? Which one? Left or right? Help me. Somebody give me an idea. I don't know. Oh man. Which one? I don't want to go on the left.
I said go left. Well, you said
Go left?
Yeah.
It closed behind me though. Okay, nothing. Nothing. Oh, this is open. That's bright light.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley
Such
decided
an
to go
awful
up to his
drawn
boss's
calendar.
office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Look at that. That's so great. Whoa. Honestly, it's so accurate. Broom closet. Whoa! I opened the door on myself. What if this closes on me?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I don't want to turn around. Come on. Why would I turn around? Oh, okay, here we go. Whoa. What was that? Was that just a lag? Yeah.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah, you know what? Not this time, sonny boy. Going downstairs. That looks terrifying. Never mind. Let's go back upstairs. This is scary, man.
Stepping into his manager's
Ooh.
office, Stanley
I like
was
that
once
sound.
again stunned to discover not an indication of any
I
human
want to
life.
play piano.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
2845.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Okay, hold up. Where is this at? Super secret keypad. Behind his desk? Oh wait, hang on, what's this? What's this? It's a briefcase.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs.
I'm
Trying to
trying to
input
find it.
anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was
What device?
2845.
Where is this? Where?
2845.
It's not letting me open the doors. No, it's not letting me.
For God, But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself.
Yeah, okay.
And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Ugh. Why are you making fun of me, man? I can't do it. Ah, it's creepy. Whoa. New level. I don't even know if there are levels in this game.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley
Okay.
realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
This is weird, man.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
What does that mean? Oh! Freedom!
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
I hope not.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I don't like that. Oh my gosh. I'm about to die. Dude, the narration though, it's sketchy. Whoa, where am I at? I can't move.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he
No.
reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
It was
Stanley
like
can't see the
actually.
bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision
No.
of what this world is.
Oh my god.
Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh no. No. Wait.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
What? Oh! What happened? Do I go this way? There's light this way. Wait,
And yet it would be just a
this
few
the end?
minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever.
What?
What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Oh my goodness. Dude. That's cool.
When
Wait,
every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
It doesn't let me type anything. Wait. So what? This is just like the entire office thing. What? That's awesome. Is this just like the models of everything? This is the desks and stuff like that? Doors. This is trippy. That's really cool credit scene though. Where do I go next? How do I go? How do I start over? Is there a way? Begin the game again. That's the button. Oh wait, hang on.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both
Yeah,
wish
here.
to be free.
I turned it off.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
No, I can't see anything. It's
No,
dark.
perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Help me.
But listen to me.
Whoa,
You
whoa,
can
whoa.
still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's do this again. Let's do this again. So this is my office. All right. Dude, I love this.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Not this time, sir. I like this. This is really cool. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of two open
Okay.
doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, I won't.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room,
Yes, it
and
was.
Stanley knew it perfectly well.
No.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah, sure. We can go with that. Dude. Okay.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all,
Bro, look
just
at
to spend a
this
few
ceiling.
moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
I want a cold drink.
Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Yep, that's not weird. Okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
First, the open door. This one. Nah, I don't like how that looks. Let's go this way.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay, A4. What is this? All right, let's see. Oh, I bet if I jump down there, I'll die.
Look, Stanley,
Oh.
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
I can't jump.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you
Nope,
all
no.
this time. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
Yes,
Are you
clearly.
that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Last
Why-
time you killed
I don't
me.
know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you.
No,
to
you
show
don't.
you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on
You're gonna
your side.
prove it to me?
Give me
I-
a
prove it.
chance.
Do it.
Now listen carefully,
Oh,
this is
come on,
important.
man.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Through the red door. So I don't like how those open. Let's go through this one. Ah, it's locked. Okay. Can I go back? No, it's still locked. Okay. Blue door it is.
Aha, perhaps you
What?
misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
No, perhaps you misunderstood. Blue door. Okay.
I still don't think we're communicating properly.
No, man.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Yo, there's another blue one.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley.
Yes.
You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to
Yes.
find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well,
Yes,
don't
kind of.
let me stop you.
Okay, what is it?
You see?
What?
There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms,
That's great.
exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was
Honestly,
it worth
yeah.
ruining the entire story I had written out
What?
specifically for you? Do you not
sorry.
think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did.
Whoa,
and
look,
in the
there's
end, it
another
was all
door
for
over there.
nothing. Because this
see
is
it?
what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires
Oh,
of
there's
yours.
another one down there.
What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees?
would've been
Work
cool.
with me. You've given me absolutely nothing
Awesome.
so
You could,
far.
like, Stanley can
Tell you
start
what,
flying and
let
whatever.
me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback.
Okay.
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before.
Okay.
Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
I want to go there, but dude, this looks like that room, and if that room had anything else, you know what I mean? Yeah, we're doing it. That door is weird.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be
Yes.
honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Yes.
Aha!
Okay.
You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from?
I don't know.
How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I
Nice,
really
nice.
couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul.
Oh.
You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try.
Got it in your soul.
Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid,
version?
I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one.
All right,
Let's take a
bet.
look.
Bet. Whoa. Stanley Parable worldwide leaderboard? What? Is that like actual statistics? Because that's really cool if it is. The bottom one though. Ouch. That's. I'm the worst one. Thanks. Thank you.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again,
No.
honest answers, please.
No.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing.
Yeah, let's do that.
You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect.
Sure,
Let me boot it up.
Oh, cut screen. Do I actually get to play it?
In this game,
Oh.
the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back
What
to the
the
right.
heck?
And if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game. All about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game
This
only
is
becomes
awful.
clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours.
4
So why
hours?
don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective?
Do the sound
Be
effect.
sure to keep notes on your experience.
No, stop.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the
That was
experience for
awesome.
me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over.
Wait,
Thank you for playing.
Did I die
Your
again?
input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game?
I like
Just to ease
games.
the pain. Let's see.
what is
What do
this?
we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
All right, let's see.
Well, Stanley, is
What?
this any better?
No
At last,
way.
the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with.
Yes.
But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be
Dude,
enough?
This looks
Well, I'll
so
say
much
this.
like the actual
I'm
game.
done making things
I
for
can't
you.
jump though.
From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
Seriously? What?
This will go here. No, here. And then...
That's awesome. It's
See, what
all the
does it
same
need?
sounds and everything too.
Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off,
I can't go in.
yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and
Oh my
feel
gosh.
ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah,
That's
but
so
you've only
pretty.
seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
No, I don't trust you. I don't want to. Do I need to? Okay.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond.
Yes.
Diamond everything. Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Okay. Let's go. That door's just closed. Can I go back in? No. Okay. It has the music. Where
Oh
do
my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
No. Did you? Oh look, it's coal. Okay. How far
Oh,
down does
no,
this
no, no,
go?
no, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear.
Uh-oh,
Something
I
that
fell.
makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
That's cool. That was awesome. Wait, what is this? No way. Dude, it's
Yes! I
Portal.
don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box
No
with no way
way.
out, listening to me talk.
No
Oh, it's
way.
inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself.
Dude, it looks just
What
like the
is this
actual
game
game.
even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious.
This is
Let's
awesome.
go find out what the hell this is.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Dude, this looks so good.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley.
Alright,
Your
alright.
forte. Genius.
Sweet. Dude, I
No,
love
actually, you know what? I think that's plenty.
No.
I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games.
No!
And I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why
Hey, what's this? Oh no. What did I do? Whoa, I fell again. Okay. Oh, it's so dark. I can't see anything. It's just like... Oh, here we go. That's weird how that's on and nothing else is. Not my thing, man. Just one light? Oh, hang on. We've got more down here. Keep on. Let's see. Hang on. Okay. What can I do? Can I not do anything in here? I don't see anything down here. Back this. Whoa. Hang on, what just happened?
I wonder what he found.
Nothing?
If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the
I don't
end
need you,
to
man.
make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh,
Okay.
yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon.
That is creepy.
I can wait.
Dude, I don't like that. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait. End is never. End is never. The end is never. The end is. Does this game never end? No way.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Just restart?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's listen to it this time. Because last time I did everything opposite.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
door?
he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
This way.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud
what's the code?
to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf,
Is that
looking
it?
behind
No.
paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught
Well,
by a
what is it?
keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course,
I was close.
Stanley couldn't. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I still don't like that. That's so weird. This is so weird. Okay. See, look, now it's different. It's different now. It says loading, not the end is never. Dude, this looks so good. The shadows and everything.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control
Okay, I died
Facility.
that way last time. I haven't done this before. Okay, okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What
that what
horrible
those are?
secret did this place
like the
hold?
Cerebro
Stanley
from
thought to
X-Men.
himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Do I? Does anybody?
Now the monitors jumped to
Whoa.
life, their true nature revealed.
Whoa.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building,
That
Stanley's
is
co-workers.
terrifying.
The lives of so
so
many
cool, though.
individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
That is so cool. That looks awesome. Elevator?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Number 601 got fired.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it.
cool.
His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Okay, this way? Yeah.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Big red button. Come on, make it the big red button.
At one, he had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been
That's
seeking,
cool, though. How it all look
but
piercing.
happiness.
A tree.
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
That's really
Whatever
pretty.
life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin,
It's not letting me move.
the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Well, there you go. You see the achievement? That's it. The Stanley Parable. I really like that. I'm totally gonna come back and wait. No. Why there letters now? That's new. Those didn't used to be there.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers.
Oh,
He never functioned well by
no.
himself and constantly needed support and guidance from
Is it
others.
impossible
So
to
the
beat?
thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
I thought I beat it. Why is there so many? And why do they?
When Stanley came to a set of two
Oh.
open doors, he
Oh,
entered
no,
the
no.
door on his left.
Oh my goodness. Oh no. I don't even know what to do now.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
I love it so much. Alright,
Coming
let's
to
go
a
down.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay.
But Stanley
Click
just
hard.
couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at
Oh
all.
my gosh.
None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
Well,
No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled.
I hope
This
so.
is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally
I wanna
found an
wake up.
answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone.
That
He
car
wasn't
is
going to lose
creepy.
his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh no. Oh no.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was
That's
so much
cool.
fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange.
Should I just keep
I'm
walking?
dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking
is
about
making
how
me
it's
get chills.
describing my thoughts,
My
he
hands are
thought.
sweating.
And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake
gonna
right
stream that
now
later, too.
as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After
My
all,
goodness.
he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just...
Please stop yelling.
He would prove it.
I have a headache.
He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
Oh, I just heard
So
somebody
he
walking.
closed his eyes gently, and
No,
he invited
no,
himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back,
What?
the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm
My
through with this
goodness.
dream. I wish it to be over.
This is terrifying.
Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job.
I have a wife?
All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
No, you're not.
Everything will be fine.
No, it won't.
I am okay.
Aw. Oh, come on. Now the
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley.
Oh.
I have a
Oh,
boss.
this-
I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Dude, this is awesome. I love this.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Wait, what?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
No
She
way.
arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
How considerate. Wow, look, a dead guy. Time to run. Man. So, I must have... Oh, the letters are gone this time, though. No,
But
no.
Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision?
What?
What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever.
That's impossible.
I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited
Yeah, the
long
clock's
enough,
ticking.
the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do.
Oh, I want to climb under the desk.
Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer.
This is scary, dude.
Here it comes.
Alright. That's gonna do it for this episode of the Stanley Parable. I really like this game. This seems really cool.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh,
What
my
could it
goodness.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Well, this is the end of this. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Man, I love this game. Everything's so well done. Like, even everything's so detailed. The light, the shadows, like, oh my gosh. Okay, thanks for watching. Wait, what? I didn't know that could close. Whoa. What? That's weird. Okay. Yeah, cause not okay. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.